You got your picture? No?
Okay. Okay.
So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So last year when I was in Japan, I created a what it feels like or what it felt like to be black in Japan, and I thought it'd be really interesting to create another video about what it feels like to be black in China. So I think the feeling I get are two vastly different feelings. In Japan, I felt as though people didn't stare at me a lot, but people stared a lot of people didn't look at me as often as they're looking at me in China, if that makes sense. So in Japan, a lot of the comments that I got were always mostly about my hair. I talked about how like 45 people over the span of a month while I was there asked or touched my hair without my permission and all that different things. But what it feels like to be black in China? Boy, completely different. It feels completely different being black in China. A lot of people stare at me, actually. I've got a lot of stares, and they're not like subtle stares. They're not like, they're like just full on staring. So that has been interesting. I've got a lot of people who look at me and like will point to me and then tell their parent. So a lot of kids will look at me, point at me, and then tell their parent. I think one of the majorest thing that had me like, whoa, people really like, have really never seen black people before, has to be this little kid in the restaurant, because he legit stared so hard, he almost fell out of his seat. Like he was like, and had to get back to it because he realized how much he was staring at me. And then this one time in the restaurant as well, this woman touched my skin. She was like, oh. And so I feel like before I came here, I knew that this would be a possibility where a lot of people would be staring at me and I would get all these looks. And I knew that people would be taking pictures of me because I have got people who snuck photos and took pictures of me. And I did have one guy who came up to me and actually asked to take a picture with me, which I did. I kind of prepared myself knowing that, you know, how would it feel if I lived in a country where all I saw was black people, like black people everywhere. And then sometimes I see a white person on TV and I'm like, whoa, like, wow, like they look so different. And then one day a white person came to my town, I would be really curious. I'd probably look at them all the time too, because I'd be like, wow, like so different. And this is due out of ignorance, you know, because it's important for everyone to be educated and to know that there are many different types of people in the world, and to know that just because we're of different skin doesn't exactly mean that we're like of different species or anything like that. But I think a lot of Chinese people don't have the exposure to knowing that black Americans, or knowing that, you know, well, black Americans specifically, or, you know, this like are also people, but also knowing that like we're not that different from them. Just skin color is different, but you know, we're just people in our lives as well. But I've gotten a lot of stares, way more stares than I've ever gotten in Japan, and people taking photos of me, if you guys saw in the beginning of this video, and I'll post more clips later on at the end of this video. Yeah, people like stare so hard that sometimes it feels uncomfortable as well. As much as sometimes it hasn't felt comfortable, like I've been okay with it, at times I'm always just like, can you like stop looking at me? Like, I just kind of want to live my life and do what I need to do. But people will legit just stare like, they're so curious, like they're just staring. And I'm just like, Oh, I get it. I'm black. I'm different. Okay. I have to admit though, it hasn't been extreme like I thought it would be. Because a lot of videos I saw before I came to China were like people up in your face with cameras telling you to take pictures with their babies and all these different things. And I think that also might depend on where in China you go. China is a very big country, about 28 different provinces, equivalent to like a state or a prefecture in Japan. So I think that I went to like two of the major cities. I went to Beijing and Shanghai, and I think those are two very major cities. And I think that maybe if I would have went to more rural parts of China where people really have probably never seen a black person, not even on TV, I would have probably gotten a lot of the take pictures of my babies kind of thing. But it has been also, there's like two extremes to it where you don't get any kind of stares, and people, you get little side stares like, oh, she black. And there's like the other extreme where it's like, oh my gosh, I have a camera stuck to your face. And I don't think I've felt that extreme. I'm maybe somewhere over here, kind of extreme that I felt. And so yeah, it's been very interesting. I've been here for about 2 weeks and counting. And even in that span of 2 weeks, I've had so many different stories and encounters where I can tell you of like these stares I've gotten and these pictures being taken. Another one is like this little boy who I was like at a convenience store, and he was there with his mother, and he was like sitting down in a little, you know, like how little kids sit in a little driving thing. And the little boy was looking at me, and so I started walking away, and he like was legit still looking at me for a good 5 minutes. I'm not kidding you guys. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. 5 minutes. Looks at me so long, and then he couldn't like turn his neck anymore. So then he like changed his neck rotation so that he could still look at me, and looked at me until I got into my car. And it was like 5 minutes, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And this one little kid looked at me, and it was so obvious. He looked at me so hard. Then he went to his mother, pointed at me, and then pointed to the mother and said, look. And in those moments, I wish I could speak Chinese, just because I want to understand what it is that they're so curious about. Like, are they saying, oh my gosh, mom, look at a black person? Or are they saying like, oh my gosh, look, it's one of them? Or are they saying like, oh my gosh, like, what is that? It's creepy. It's like, you know, like I've heard different extreme stories of people thinking like black people are like the devil, or like people think black people are like some other kind of alienic species. Very extremes, but that's kind of what it feels like being black in China. Everyone's experience is going to be different depending on where you go. Like I said, some places have literally never seen a black person, not even on TV. And so when they see you for the first time, they're going to be shook. But other places have seen black people, and they're just like constantly fascinated with black people, that they're constantly going to keep looking at black people, no matter how many times you see them. So depending on where you go, your experience might be different than mine. I think I had an okay experience because, once again, I kind of prepared myself mentally, knowing that people would be staring at me. And I kind of just told myself, you know, if I was someone who's never seen somebody of another race, like, I would probably stare too. And things like that as well. Yeah. And so in addition to that as well, it's sometimes a bit uncomfortable. Just because I mean, who wants to be stared at all the time, especially when you're in a restaurant eating, like trying to enjoy your meal, trying to enjoy your friends. Who wants to like have someone stare at them for like 5 minutes straight? Like, you don't have a meal to eat. No one wants that. But at the end of the day, I understand where their curiosity comes from, and I understand the ignorance of it all. So I try not to take it to heart. Sometimes I just try to use it to educate people. Like the woman who touched me, I'm like, that was like, whoa, why are you touching my skin? It's literally the same skin as yours. But the fact that she probably does not recognize that skin is skin, just different pigments, is mind-blowing to me. So just know that that is how ignorant people are sometimes. So that's how it felt for me to be black in China. Comment down below if you've ever been to China and you felt, if you've never gotten a picture taken of you, or if you felt completely opposite than I do, or if you felt even more uncomfortable than I have. So more uncomfortable than I have felt. or if you felt super comfortable or you're like super okay with everything that happened, comment down below. I would love to know about different people's experiences while they've been here. But all around, I love China. China is dear to my heart. It has good food. People are nice. But people just don't have, sometimes just don't have any sense of like boundaries, you know? Like, chillax, bruh. Relax, bruh. I'm human, bruh. Let me be, bruh. It's all part of the experience, all part of the learning process, and it helps me also humble myself. Because I'm like, is this how celebrities feel? Like, it makes me think like that. Like, is this how celebrities feel? Like, when they go to restaurants and people are just staring at them, sneaking photos of them. That really makes me think. Like, I don't think that's okay. And I know the celebrities sometimes, like, choose to be in the spotlight, and so they should expect those kind of things. But a part of me I don't think that's okay for people to like sneak photos of others and like to invade on their privacy. If they're trying to have a nice meal, like sneaking photos of them, Snapchats, or like talking about them. I don't think it's really like invasive. Like when it comes to privacy, really, it's really invasive in a way. It had me thinking like, wow, like, I mean, I don't think I've ever done that to a celebrity, because I don't think I've ever saw any celebrity I actually cared about to do that to. But when I do, it makes me think. And I would rather go up to a celebrity and ask, because if they say no, then, you know, maybe I'm like, oh, well, my bad. But like, for example, the guy that came up to me in the Forbidden City then asked, can I take a picture with you? I was like, you know what, you asked, like, why not? It's like, but just like, if he would have snuck a photo, I would have felt really weird. There's this one lady who legit stood in my face. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. She legit stood in my face, was like this. And I was like 2 feet away from her. And I'm like, I know there's no one else around me. I know you're taking a picture of me. So you know what I did? I took out my camera and I was like this too. Started taking a picture of her. And then she started laughing. To her, she's gonna laugh. But to me, it's like, she doesn't get it. But it's funny because I tend to go around with another person of color who is also, she's not as dark as I am, but she's also like brown skin. And I think it makes me think, because she's also a person of color, and sometimes she gets stares too. I have peeped people staring at her, but she doesn't get as much stares or like, you know, the photo taken as much as I do. And it's just because I'm a darker shade than she is. Like, I'm really, really dark skinned. So I feel like that is also like really interesting to people, like the pigment of my skin. But I'm like, y'all better dip into this chocolate. Y'all better get into this chocolate. Like, I know it's good. Grab your cracker, grab your spoon, dip into it. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm gonna show, let me show you guys a little bit of my view, because the city's like getting really, really nice. And from my window, there's a really nice view. That is my view, guys. That is some of China's most, you know, famous buildings. Like that one, they call it that's called the Bottle Cap. And those are like in the fashion district. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on my video. And once again, I really want to hear about you guys' opinions. And even if you've never been to China, I still want to hear about your opinion about how you feel about going to China. Would you ever go to China? I would personally return back like hella times, just because I like it. It's good food, and there's so much to explore here. So don't let that hater stop you from doing your thing. Mean girl reference. No, I'm kidding. But bye guys, thanks for watching my video. Take a picture with me? You guys, this girl's gonna take a picture with me. She wanna take a picture with me.